Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're taking a look at WoodPecker by Woodman's Immaculate Maple Syrup Studio. So let's oge. Yo, hello, welcome to the show. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and of course, I hope you're doing okay. Let's get into it. Today, we're looking at this wonderful WoodPecker. There's a lot to cover, so I'm gonna have to be on it. It's a sequencer, and it's lovely. It's very complex. There's a lot of stuff going on under the hood, but you should hopefully be able to get your head around it by the end of this episode. Let's jump in and find out how much it is and all that jazz, and then we'll say hello to everybody here. It is available on the iOS App Store for $7.99. It works on your iPhone and iPad. No, I do believe it is. Yes, indeed. Also, you can get it for Le Mac. It is a separate purchase. It is over here. So on the Mac, it is $39.99. If you want to grab it on the Mac, it is a separate purchase, just so you know. But on iOS, it is only $7.99. Good stuff. Simple, easy to understand, and all that jazz. Let's say hello to you all, then we'll get into this sucker. I've lost half the comments because I had to reboot OBS quickly. Forest of the Wolf, Leela, Thomas Christ, Tie Man, who else? Brad Example, what's going on? Studio 6+1, I saw you say that you're excited for this. Hopefully this helps you understand. Ali, welcome to you. Thomas says you can become a warrior for $1 a month, and you not only get custom emojis and stuff like that, you get one members stream a week. You also, at the end of each month now, will get a brand new show called, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. We've got a brand new show happening at the end of each month. It's called The Luck of the Claw. That's what it's called. And what is the luck of the Claw? Well, it's a show where I play your music, and members can send in their music, and it's all judged by a claw machine, and that's it. And it pulls out a lot of balls, because balls, right? Balls, everybody loves balls. And we'll be grabbing lots of balls in that show. So you get 4 member streams a month, and you get an extra show. But the extra show is public, but you get to submit your music for that show for $1. There you go. Boom. Become a Patreon as well, and you can win cool apps like the one we're looking at today and all that stuff. There's the link. Thanks, Thomas. Phoenix Falling Music, hello to you. What's going on? Fat Panda Cat, hello. MC Like It Dark, hello to you. I think I've got most of you all as I scroll to the bottom. Are we good? If Dots, hello, hello, hello. All right, let's get into it. Let's cover this thing because there's heaps to cover. So I'm going to open up AUM. Boom. And I've got this little project here where we've got 4 separate instruments, and WoodPecker is controlling all of them. And I can show you that right here. So we're going to go and hit play. Let's see how it sounds, and I'll shut up. Let's oge. that was a complex one. So this one is actually running, that is one of the presets that is in here. And you can get to the presets a couple of ways before we jump in. Presets, you can tap up the top on the preset box, or you can actually hit the browser here. And this brings up the entire browser for all your presets. If you tap the factory, it will remove all of the factory presets and only leave you with user. If you tap user, both of them unclicked, then you will just have nothing there. User and factory. So you can do that. You can actually make these, when you turn them both on, you can make them shorter or longer. So you can mess about with the browser tab like that. You can move through them like so. You can actually move through, and that is the two ways to get to here. You can save a patch as a default. So every time you reset to default, it will go back to that. And at an instant, when you click on here, you can hover over the factory to get your factory presets, or all of your presets will be saved down here. It's pretty simple, that, don't you think? All right, so I'm going to clear out this project like so and show you how to set it up, because this makes no sound. This is a sequencer. Be aware of that. If you're going to buy this and then go, where's all the sounds? It's not like that. It's a sequencer. You need instruments to send the sequence notes into. So we're going to load a MIDI channel here in AUM. You can do the same in Logic. We're just going to keep it very simple right now. Load in WoodPecker, and what shall we load in here? Let's make something nice like Spelldozer. Yeah, so we'll send WoodPecker out into Spelldozer. So we are sending MIDI notes from here going into this lovely piece of kit, and let's make it full screen. You can resize this. So it's got resizing capabilities. If we grab the handle, you can move around like this. And you'll notice there's a little bar down here to scroll. Now you don't have to do that either. If you're using your finger, you can just scroll over this side, yeah? So don't feel like you need to, or you can scroll over here using the bar. So there's two ways that you can scroll. Pretty easy stuff right there. I'm going to make it full screen by double tapping, so we've got the most real estate we need. Okay, so the most important thing you're going to want to keep in mind at all times with this is that there are 4 colored tracks, and you can find those dots right here. Track 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they're all colored so you can see what is happening. Just be aware that you are on the particular track that you want to be on by these colors. Now quickly I'm going to bounce over to the set button. We have 2 kind of settings. We've got settings here. Now these windows can be moved around wherever you like as well. So you can move them around, place them wherever you want. There's a little X button up the top. These are the advanced settings, and again you can move this around. I don't think you can move it off the screen, so that's not a thing you can do, but there you go. So you can move these around. Now, we're going to focus on the settings first. Why? Because the same, I'm going to put it directly under so you can see what's happening here. When you switch, see how I'm switching between these 4 different lanes? It's not switching in the settings. So just be aware. You may open the settings and want to change a bunch of things. Make sure you are on. But see this? When you're in the settings and you switch, you are switching the actual tracks. I think it would be an improvement if it worked both ways. So when you switched here, it switched up here. So because a lot of people forget, but as you can see, it does work the opposite way around. So it would be cool if that was featured. There is a button up here called All. And when this is lit up like so, whenever you make any changes to any of these settings, it will affect all of the settings. So if I come in here and change the steps to 4 steps and then close this, you'll notice all tracks now are set to 4 steps. So just be aware of this always, because this could be, I'll tell you what, even this could be like a highlighted yellow or something, just so you could see it a bit better, like a full block. So you knew you were set to all, because I made a heap of mistakes doing that, because it's not very bright, but that's just my 2 cents. Let's come and bring this back to 16. So just to let you know as well, the amount of steps you can have per track is 64. So if I click 64, here's the interesting thing. You won't see 64 in here. See what I did there? See 64, Commodore 64. But, so you'll only ever see on this tab here, 16 beats in the sequence. Now notice how the rest of these now are all still 4. So we'd want to come in here to all and set all of these to 64. Like so. How do you see 64? Hello, Hugh. If I've missed anyone, hello. Arthur, did I see Arthur as well? How do you see that? How do you see, because you can only see 16 here, right? There's a little run button up here. When I tap this, this is now where you can see 64. So you can see here's the start and it goes all the way down here to 64 over here, right? So now you see, if I change this set now, this is all of them. I'm still changing all of them at once, just back to 16. You can see now we've got 16 steps here, right? Lovely. Makes sense? Hope so. So this is our run page. When we flick between these, this will show you which tracks are actually switched on. You can turn them on over here, or you can turn them off over here, and you can get a full picture of the whole process happening before your very eyes. Yes? And this is where you can mess about with everything, change all the settings for each individual track, but the run page you'll get to see an overall. So if I hit play now, now let's cover this, because now this is not an app that you just load up and just go. Yeah, you just generate stuff. This isn't a ChemOK app. This takes a little bit of work behind it to set up things and, you know, really map things out, right? So just be aware it is more complicated than something like that. It can be a generative app, trust me on that. So at the moment, see how I hit play up here and nothing's happening? We've got a start button here. Now if I tap this, it starts. So you've got the ability to choose multiple ways to actually start this. You can sync it to the DAW. So right now it's starting here, and every time I stop it and start again, it's going to restart the entire process. If I want to change that, you need to come into the settings, and of course, again, remember the all button, because you can do this for individual channels. See, I can say, let's turn off the all button, come over to track 1, and I can say down here, start, DAW transport. But if I flick to channel 2, it's still set to manual. So you can actually set things to a whole each track to a whole different collection of ways. You could have an audio trigger, kick off track 2. You could have the DAW. You could have a note on to kick off the second track. There are multiple ways to do this. It's very, very well thought out. There's just so many options in here. For now, we're going to click all and set this to DAW transport. So now all of these are now set to DAW transport. And when you come out now and I hit play up here, watch, it still doesn't happen. You've got to make sure that start is selected and it is flashing, waiting for input. So now if I hit play up here, and when I stop, you notice what happens? So this stops right here. If I hit play again, it continues on. Stop, come back. Well, there's a setting for that as well. So if we come over to settings, you'll notice down here, there is this one that says go to step stop, go to step 1. So again, you can do this. You could change this up and just have this track. So whenever you stop it, it will go to step 1, but this one may not. And this one may do it, and the others may, and the other one may not. So you can get some really varied stuff happening here. If we turn all these on right now, I'm not sure how this is going to sound, but let's play. And then I stop and hit play. So you're automatically getting different generations of stuff because of the way it's stopping and starting. But let's come back over here and hit all and turn all of these to go to step 1 on stop. So now if I hit play, everything's going to start at the same place again, no matter what, right? So there are a few things to get your head around with this, yeah? A little bit of setup, and it's going to get more complicated as we go on, trust me. We're going to turn all these off and just focus on one of these tracks right now. Turn off run and come back over here. I want to talk about this section here too, our BPM, because currently, if I change the BPM of our project, even though it's sunk to the door, right, the BPM is not changing. Right, so we've turned it up to 150, hit play, it's still 120. So let's bring this back down to 120. So these are just things you'll need to remember. If we click door, now it is sunk to the door. So now if I drag, you can see the BPM on the app is changing. Let's bring this right down to say 80. And now when we hit start, Russ is brilliant at high Russ as well, but already too complicated. Look, I'm not going to, this again, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. It can be complicated, yeah? But I'm sure for people who love to tinker and, oh man, there is so much to this. It's beautiful. Now you can also set this to the MIDI clock. I could come over here and set this to the MIDI clock. You can do that as well. Brad's already worked it out. He closed his eyes and I just read the manual to him and he's a genius, Brad. He's got it all worked out. Okay, let's start looking at an individual track here. So we're on track 1. This is track 1. Make sure it's pressed and we're all good to go. And we can start making some music. All right, let's talk about variations first. So you'll see over here, we have VAR1, VAR2, VAR3, and VAR4. These are like variations of each track. And so you can change things up. So I can switch these around and you'll notice, pay attention here, right? You'll notice these change as I go through a variation. So change to 2, change to 3. Well, so now if I hit play, we'll let it get to the end. And I'll hit variation 2. Now we're going down. You can come in here and make up to 4 variations for each track. And these can be fully automated as well, which is wild. So now we got low end. You can control these with a keyboard. There's so many things you can do with them, right? Anyway, let's stop. So you get the idea. We'll cover variations a little bit further soon. Let's talk about our notes. So you have 2 ways to input notes here. You have absolute notes and the other relative notes. We're currently set to relative. What does relative mean? It means the first note of this section here. See how it's a C4? And now every number here represents a semitone up. So as you listen to this playing, you can see we're starting at C4 and going up a semitone each time. Do, 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 do. So we can come in here to each note along here and change the semitones if we want. We could go like a full octave. Here we'll do like a 7. And we can come in here and do like a 3. And now this will change. But the thing to remember when you're in relative is everything is focused on this first note that is here, right? So everything is a relative note from the C note here. But you can also use absolute, which is very, very cool. If you tap the absolute button here, it changes into notes for you. So you can come in and change your notes like whatever you want. So we can go a C, a G, we can change this to an A, and they're all listed by your 3s and all of this stuff. So A3, E4, let's change this to a B3. You can come in here and go to your heart's content. Now when we hit play, just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to shorten this to about 8 steps for everything in this pattern. So make sure all is selected and we're going to select 8. So now everything is 8. So we've got a much shorter palette to work with. Beautiful. Yes, I agree with MC Like It Dark. It is absolutely a bit educational as well, so help you understand your scales, because not everybody understands all of this stuff also. And there are scales involved in this, but there's not such a scale where you can set a scale when you're putting in notes here. The way the scales actually come into it is when you're adding randomization to notes, which we'll show you in a second. So over here, we can add in mutes or skips, and they are represented by different colors. So now, if I want to mute this note here, I can tap it, and you can see it's lit up, and I want to mute this note here. So now when we play back, there's a rest. So already, hopefully, you're starting to see the ability to generate patterns that have variation just by adding in a mute. You can do this on the fly. So we've added in another one here. And if we jog over to our run page, you can see all those mutes in here as well. And you can turn off the mutes here also in the run page. So now they're all off. Alternatively, we have skips. And if you add a skip, it will not have a rest. It'll just skip over that note. So now when we hit play and show you the run page, you can see it's skipping over this note. Hello, Tremor Bear. And once again, you can turn these skips off here and here. So a really great way to create patterns, rhythmic patterns, all that kind of stuff. What did Thomas say? It's kind of like old hardware sequences in a way. Yes, and it can be used with external sequencing and gear as well. Look, it's very, very complex. It even works with MIDI too. I know, right? I don't even think, can iOS deal with MIDI too? I don't even know. So we have here a skip probability. So if I add a skip in here, or a on or mute, we can decide the probability. So if I put in, say, 3 mutes here, then over underneath here, we can turn up the probability. So if I turn it down to like 30, oops, that's not the one that's selected. So we got these 3 selected. Let's bring this down to 25, 35, 50, and like 60. So now when we play, there's a probability that it might hit or it might not. Let's turn one of these up. Oh, that's on skip, sorry. Let's do that. Make sure our mutes are off. Good. So we'll put skips in here, sorry. So you've got probability options there as well. And we'll just stop this. Go back to mute and double tap, and it'll bring everything back up to 100. So you understand how to add the notes. Let's talk about this wonderful thing, random note probability. So you can actually turn on any of these to have random notes played. Now this is where you want to like set a scale. So let's come over back up here to set, and you'll see in here we have our scale selection over here. And again, make sure you've got all set. I'm going to do it for all of these just for now. And you can choose from these scales that are available, so major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, so the ones that are here, or you can set from a user scale. If we tap user and then come over to advanced, you'll see down the bottom here we've got a scale. So we can add unison, major second, third, we can go a fifth, major sixth, and this is a scale that we can add to our randomization. Right, so you can choose user if you like, come in and do that. There's plenty of options, trust me. You've got so many options, it's kind of ridiculous. But we're going to set this just to a major pentatonic for now. So now all of these are set limited to this major pentatonic. Now if we come over here, we can turn up some of these and choose the random notes. So let's just turn up a few of them and see how we go. We'll turn off these skips as well. So now we're getting random notes happening, right? Within that scale. But what we can also do is click the range button over here and we can determine the range of notes. So it's currently set to 2 octaves and you can come in here and say just 1 octave for this one. We'll say do a 3 notes, just between 3 notes. It's all relative. So this one we could do like 5. So you've got complete control over the randomization of all of this stuff. Double tap on any of these and your randomization is gone. We're back to the original chords, right? Volume. Let's talk about the volume. So now this is a little bit finicky, this one. This is probably the weirdest part of this. So for example, I'm going to play this and just turn down the first note of this thing. So it's gone. I'm going to put it halfway. So it's very light. It's a little bit finicky, the volume. This has been updated a couple of times since the app's been released. It's actually working much nicer now since the last update. So it's not like a volume or velocity. Totally up to you how you can set your volumes. But there is that. You can individually come in and set the volume for each note in your pattern. Easy. Ratcheting. Let's cover ratcheting because the ratcheting is so much fun. And it's really, really nicely set up. So here's our ratcheting along underneath here. When you tap, you get all these options and it's beautifully shown in these little images. So obviously you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do a whole bunch of numbered ratcheting and I just like the display. It's very cool. So let's just put in some ratcheting here. We'll put in like a 3 and that'll do. And we'll hit play. But you also have probability for your ratcheting. So we can turn this down. So we may get a ratchet, we may not get a ratchet. Right, so you can see this one now, we've turned it all the way down to 0. And we're not getting any ratcheting on this one at all. Now we're getting some ratcheting out of 50. So it's normally 1 out of 2, I think around 50. Double tap on any of these and it'll bring them back up to 100. Double tap anything and it'll bring it back to wherever you want. But what you also get, as well as ratcheting, is these extended notes. Right? I'm just going to bring all these back. So you can halve this. We could come in and put a quarter in here as well. Or a times. So a division or a times. So it's holding on that note 4. Very, very cool. Like the amount of craziness, and then mix this all in with ratchets and your probability. You can get some pretty wild stuff. Right, so the capabilities for generative stuff are very, very crazy. We only have one track running, right? One track. Let's bring all these back to one. And double tap all of these. I thought I'd try and pick something gentle for the sound to test this, right? I had a piano, but I thought, you know, let's not do that. Let's talk about step time delta, because this is a really good way to get some interesting patterns happening. This is this line here. So let's just hit play. And you've got with step line delta, you can go forward or you can go backwards. So let's show you what happens with both. I'm only going to do it on the first note of the sequence. Turn it all the way up. So you can see it's holding. It's almost like a swing effect. And if we take it all the way back, we're getting a rhythm in there. So let's start mutating these. Forward, back. You put that in combination with ratcheting, and this is where the magic happens, even just with one track, right? And then you've got your skips, then you've got your random note probability as well. Randomness for days. We'll reset everything. Now, the thing with the step time delta, it can sometimes get a little bit out of time. So there's an option in here in the settings to delta step keep time. So if you tap this and you are using the step delta a lot, this should keep everything a little bit more in time. And you can see what's happening here in our run screen, how it's skipping ahead. So you can hear the difference now when I've just turned that off. We've still got the step delta running. Now let's turn on the time sync. And I'll turn it off. Okay, we've covered this. Let's talk about modulation. So modulation is wild. It's ridiculous. The modulation is crazy. So many knobs. I know. We love knobs, don't we? Everybody loves knobs. What time is it? Ooh, we're running out of time, big time. So I've got to be quick. Modulation, we're going to gloss over a little bit here. So modulation. You can set modulation for every single note. You can do things like control changes, CCs, yeah, pitches, pressure, aftertouch, program changes. So you could set every time a note is hit, it changes a preset up here. Wild. You've got MIDI 2 pitch per note, so some MIDI 2 controls here. You can even decide to start and stop a sequence. So I could come in here and choose stop sequence. It changes all of this, and I could say right here, stop track 1. So now when I hit play, The sequence is now stopped. That's it. And on another track, if I had another track running, I could set that to start. So we could come over here to track 2 and say, let's go start sequence when it gets to here, right? And choose number 1. So now when we play these, let's just come back over here to have both tracks running. See how it started? If I turn this off, once it gets to here, it stops. But now when I add this track in and it gets to this point, it restarts. It's wild, man. You can go crazy. You can set up stop-start sequences for all 4 tracks. It is just, it's lunacy. No, it's very, very cool. So let's turn off this, and you can put on individual notes, start, stop. You could send, make track 2 start or stop track 4. It's some really wild stuff. You can turn it off here. Let's come back over and turn this one off. So it's back to 0. So you can do start or stop sequences, or you can go to a variation. So if we click variation, now I can say here, go to variant 2. And watch up here. When we hit play, it will flick to the second variant of this pattern. Here it comes. Oops. We gotta start the track again, don't we? Come over here, turn it on. See how it flicked to variant 2? And then you could have another track sending it to start variant 3 or whatever. So you could, let's come over here and say this one starts variant 3 and this one starts variant 1. So now you will see the variants up here change back and forward. So we're on 3. We're on track 1. There we go. We've gone to 2. Back and forward. Look at them go back and forward. It is wild. I love this. It's really cool. And you've got 4 of these to sequence. You could even, let's clear these out, right? But the thing is, what you have to pay attention to, right? You'll notice then, you've got to make sure you're setting these on the right variant. Right? Because you can see, if I set these all on variant 1, then it's never going to bounce back unless variant, for example, variant 1, if we send this to variant 2, when it gets here, we have to make sure variant 2 at some point sends it back to variant 1. Like there, right? Watch. Here we go. So now it's at 2, and now it's back at 1. Anyway, that's a brief look at it. If you want to come in and remove them all, just come in, change the variants, get rid of them. I'm going to quickly show you how to set a MIDI CC. So let's do a control change. I'm going to load in just here, say, just a reverb, something really simple. And I'm going to come into this reverb, come up here, and I'm going to select WoodPecker, right, in our MIDI control section. And then in here, I'm going to say output and the wet mix set to CC1, turn it on. Now what I can do for each note is come in here, select CC1, and then select which notes send, so we can make this really loud. Then we can have these down to 0 and then back up and then back up here. So you should hear the reverb go on and off as we play this. Right? It's wild. We're fully controlling the wet mix. Very, very wicked, man. I love it. And you can send that to anything you want. Double tap, bring these out, and to turn off the CC change, just turn it off. So a lot of options going on. Now, so that's pretty much everything that's in your track, all the options there to set up a sequence for one track. Other things you might want to do. We talked about this button here for all steps. You can actually turn that on over here as well for doing things in here, right? So now if I changed anything in this, with all steps on, it will go across the board for all of these channels, yeah? So if I come up here and put in, I don't know, we turn down this volt, see how all these steps are being altered all at once? If I turn all these up, everything's being altered. If I put ratchets in here, ratchets are going to go across all of them. So that is with the all button selected. Let's turn these off back to 1. And this is really cool. This is your step sequencer. So you can actually click this and step through the sequence. All right, let's turn off that reverb. So we're actually stepping. Let's go to the run page so you can see it. Step. And I'm just tapping, you know, I'm just clicking the mouse, just tapping that button. Yeah, so you can make in your own patterns. Wicked. Let's talk about this one, because not everybody understands just punching in notes this way, because you also have a record button here. Now, you want to make sure that your keyboard is connected. So make sure your keyboard's connected to this. And if I tap record, you'll notice all these light up, and now I can actually play the notes in on my keyboard. So you can see them actually filling out. And now when I hit play, so again, I can bring this down an octave, hit record again, and play in. Let's go back to the start, sorry. And record. All right, we're back at the start. Yes, record. So I can play in all these notes. Bum, 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 bum. Done. Hit playback. So you don't have to just select these individual notes. You can play them in as well. Now, you might want to copy something, right? You might want to copy something to another track. Let's talk about your individual tracks and more tracks. There's a copy button up here, and I can say copy current sequencer. And now when I click it again, I can copy it into any other sequencer, like so. Then I can copy even variations. So I might want to copy a variation. I'm in variation 2. I can copy a variation and copy that into another track's variation, paste into another. So copy variation and paste that into another track's variation. So lots of things to be able to do with copy and paste. These are your previous and next for presets. So you can go through your presets, I do believe. Let's load a preset, actually. Let's show you some of the presets that are in here. Now remember, with presets, they're not connected to the DAW. So you would have to go through all the steps of selecting all and manually connecting to the DAW, right? And then I'd have to hit play up here. So these are just some of the presets. Is Audible video here? Hello, Audible. So as you can hear, you can get super complicated. Even, let's just take a look at this one, right? Let's just take a look at this one, for example, and come in here and make sure this is all set to door transport. And our door is selected, so that's good. There are also other options here in regard to our feel. So let's just turn off all these tracks. And we'll focus back on this first track here. So we're just focusing on track 2 at the moment. You can change the feel. So this is like a swing. You can swing forward and you can swing backwards. So now if we bring everything else back in here, now you'll notice when I flick between sequences, the feel is set to 0 here, right? So it's only this one that is being affected. So you can get some really, I mean, I'm just going to say it over and over again. You can make things just so off the wall. It's ridiculous. Plus, if I tap all here, we can just choose random steps. This is so cool. Turn this up, and now we're going to watch all of the tracks here randomized completely. So not only is this generative, then we can come out of here and add more probability. With some random note probability as well for each individual track. And even things like it's super generative. Absolutely generative as fuck. Turn off the random steps. But as I said earlier as well too, not only can you start a project by selecting the door transport, you can set an audio trigger. So if you have another channel that has an audio like drums, and when it kicks off and hits that first beat of the drums, that will trigger it. So you could come up here, select audio trigger, and then you can come over to these settings. So I'm not going to demonstrate this because we just don't have time. You can decide the audio threshold for it to trigger that, or the audio hysteresis. Is that how you say it? Hysteresis. You've got resyncing options down here. So if things get a little bit unruly with the way you've got stuff randomized, you can say, let's just choose 4 bars, and it's going to reset everything back to and clean everything up, resync everything, yeah? So a lot of options, heaps of options. This one here I want to touch on. Notes are relative. For this, I'm just going to load this little thing I made. Quickly, I want to say, with saving presets, this is cool. Watch this, right? So just say you've made a preset, tap add, you can name your project, and here it says iCloud enabled. If you hit OK here, this will save this to your iCloud. It'll put it in the folder, and when you go and open this on another iPad, it's just there magically. It's beautiful. Really well done, I've got to say. Because I made all these presets on my other iPad and did nothing, and they're just waiting here for me. That I love. I think that's really, really, really cool. So with this particular project here, I think I made some chords. So what you can see what's happening here, we've got some chords all playing together. And this is where it gets juicy, right? So come into settings here, make sure all is selected. We can change this to random steps, and look, it's dancing around, and So something very simple becomes something completely else. Plus, remember, we can change the time signatures of each track also. So let's do that. So we'll turn off all. Let's go into our first one. We can set this to, half. Second one, we can change to a quartered triplet. Third one, we can come in and do an eighth dotted. Plus all of the other randomization stuff that we have. It's bloody good. And not only that, the last thing I will cover in 6 minutes is multiple instruments. Let's do that quickly. Let's throw in a piano over here. We'll just use our piano tech. And what else? Maybe a wavetable thing. Waverly tables. We haven't used that for a while. So to do this, all you need to do is add your extra instruments. Come over here and set your outputs to all three of them. Come into WoodPecker. And now we want to, in our settings here, individually, we want to set our MIDI channel out to each different instrument. So for track 1, we'll send that to MIDI channel 1 out. For this one, we'll do MIDI channel 2. Now, I don't know why this pops up over here. It's a little bug, but it is what it is. For number 3, we're going to set this to MIDI channel 3. All done. Now in these sections, you want to just make sure these are set to their respective MIDI channels. So 2, and over here, we're going to set this one to 3, and the original one set to MIDI channel 1. So now, right, hello Matt in the corner. If you are doing random note probabilities, I do suggest you come in and make sure all of your scales are set. Yeah, so make sure they're all set to the right, or your user scale. This is over here. This is for MIDI 2's grouping. The last section we'll look at is the advanced section. This is all just MIDI channel out stuff. So this is your overall MIDI channel out. If you're not separating things out, your send and DAW. This one we should talk about here too. Common VAR switching. I can't remember. Common VAR. Oh yes. So I think with the common VAR switching, all of these. So when you switch, all of the channels will switch, right? So let's do it. Hit play. Yeah. So when common VAR switching is turned on and you change a VAR here for an individual track, all of the tracks will change at the same time. Just be aware. It's really handy, that one. And send MIDI clock. So you can use a MIDI clock. The last thing I think I didn't cover is over here. Notes are absolute. So if we turn on notes are absolute, it means that when we're out of absolute here and we're in relative and our first note, even if we change our first note here, all the rest of the notes will stay, all right? So only the note will stay absolute and the rest won't. So I think that's pretty much it. I've done amazing in 1 hour to get through as much of this as I can. So happy days, we got through it. It's incredible. It is a really, really deep and beautiful app. As I said, it's available on Mac as well. It's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay, yeah? But if you're looking for a sequencer that has some very, very deep customization and the ability to not only just, set your own scales and patterns and all that, but to have a whole lot of generative stuff out there. I don't know if there's I don't think there is a global reset. So there is a stop all notes in case you get stuck. But there is a a reset to default, right? So you can reset to default. There we go. So we're reset to default. Plus what you can do is come in here and save your own default. So you might want to come in and create your own init patch and then hit save as default, and that will reset to whatever default. Sorry, I wasn't showing you, was I? There we go. So in your presets here, you've got a save as default and a reset to default. So let's just load up this chords thing we had going, yeah? Right. So then if I hit reset to default, we're back to default, right? And you can come in and save as a default. So you can create your own init patch basically from here. Again, this whole thing is built for you to build. It's not just to load it and go. If you are a Patreon here on the channel, for $5 and above, we have some giveaways of this as well, like we do each and every week for virtually all the apps that we cover here on the show. There's already a couple up from this week or from yesterday or whatever we looked at yesterday. What was it? Yonex app. So all of that stuff. There's Thomas. He's banging it in there. The thing will be up in about 1 minute's time. Yeah. So you can go and leave your name if you want to go in for the race. We do this stupid thing where we have these races each week and you might win. Good stuff. Hopefully that's helped you understand a little bit. It is a little bit complex, but it's worth the time if you're going to set up some great stuff. Lastly, the thing we got to do is the thing and tell you how much it is, because we got to remind everybody it is $7.99 on the iOS App Store. And if you want to get it on Mac, it is a separate purchase. It is $39.99 from the Mac OS Store. Good stuff. Thomas Christ is up right now with URock TV. I'm going to dump you over there. Tomorrow, we have Pete Johns on the show, yeah? And we are going to be talking all things about evil corporations and how they have destroyed our trust. So if you have an evil corporation you'd like to join us with and talk about tomorrow and bring it to the forefront, we will be more than happy to live talk to you about it. The death of trust, because these companies, man, they just keep being nasty. Remember when Google was called Don't Be Evil? Now they're just like, we don't give a fuck, we hate you all. So we're going to be talking about that. Yeah, two geezers yapping, must see TV. You. All right. Audible video. All right, do all the things. Thanks to the maple syrup for providing the app today and giveaways. See you over at Thomas's. Let's